How do you tie whales?
It's very tough. Whales are very big.
Our two fans are going to be drunk in their underwear on the couch, and then they're just going to fall asleep to us talking about soccer. So, to the two drunk fans in your underwear on the couch, thanks for watching. Hello, 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 and welcome to Updog Sports Talk. My name is Matt Miller. Welcome back from Thanksgiving. We have not had a
Woo.
show since the week before that. This is Justin McGovern. What is up, dude? Long time no see.
Well, stomach's still stuffed from all that turkey. Definitely was a good
Tell me about
holiday
it.
week. Obviously we got treated to a lot of good football. College now is at the end of the regular season. UAB just hired Trent Dilfer. What an
Nice.
out of nowhere hire that was. But and then NFL, obviously, we had a bit more football than usual because Thanksgiving you have 3 games. And time to talk about the NFL today. So let's check out how things are looking so far, standing wise. The first thing that sticks out to us, and we get started over here, the NFC East. We have made fun of the NFC East almost relentlessly on the show the first 2 years of the show's existence.
They
And
would
this year
literally
they
beat up on
completely
each
flipped
other
the script.
every year. They would beat up on each
And
other every year, and then all their records would be just garbage.
not
And
only
then
that,
all
but
of a
they would
sudden,
lose to the other divisions also.
yeah. And now all of a sudden, they're all eligible for the playoffs. Like right now, if the season ended today, they would all be in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like they all are good enough to make the playoffs right now. Washington, we kind of left them for dead for most of the year. I mean, we have literally skipped over them several times, but ever since Taylor Heineke has taken over as a starter, they have gone on a run.
Yeah.
The Giants have been one of the most improved teams this year. Eagles, we've talked about them a lot, so I don't really think we need to talk about them too much. They've been dominant all year, but the only thing that's changed is they finally are starting to show a little bit of a weakness. They're not that great against the run right now. Part of that's because Jordan Davis got hurt.
He
And
just got
then
cleared to come back. They still have to add him to the active roster and let him practice,
yeah,
but he's good to come back. Like they cleared him from IR, so that'd be a
yeah,
huge help if he can make it back this weekend.
they do need him this weekend because Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans are coming to town. And then the
But
Cowboys,
The Bengals did just destroy Derrick Henry with a slot corner that just blitzes off the edge. So I think the Bengals are laying the groundwork for everyone else just to run over the Titans.
we'll see because they got Vrabel and Co on the other side. They're gonna find out a way to get him going.
Funny
Um,
thing about Vrabel while we're talking about him, I saw a bunch of Ohio State fans online saying that we should just fire Ryan Day right now and then hire Mike Vrabel. He would gladly come back. Well, we won't dive too deep into the Ohio State thing, but I
yeah,
just thought it
what
was
there
funny that
I could mention the article I read today because this article I came into it like there's no way Vrabel's an NFL guy, and then I ended up reading more into it. I realized he actually likes recruiting a little bit better than people know. Anyways, I'm not thinking about that at the moment. Let's stick with the NFL today. I could literally do a whole video ranting about what Ryan Day needs to do to fix the Buckeyes. Um, but
make
moving
that video
on.
on your own. I do not want to be a part of that one.
I know, right? Moving on to the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings are about to clinch it already. How about that?
But their clinch depends on what the Lions do. Surprisingly, they're 5 games ahead, and they are relying on the Lions to lose this week.
Normally that's a good thing, but the Lions are playing the Jaguars, so it might not be as
Hey,
guaranteed this
Doug
week.
Peterson and Trevor Lawrence looked really good last week. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they had a great performance. The Packers are pretty much in the situation where they need to win out. Aaron Rodgers obviously left the game hurt last week, but so far it seems like he's feeling pretty good, but we'll see what happens. And then the Bears,
Also, Rogers said that he would have an open mind if the Packers wanted to start Jordan Love.
yeah. Um, the Bears, on the other hand, Justin Fields has really come into his own as an NFL quarterback, probably since the last time we even did a show about the NFL.
Yeah,
But still, there's a lot of problems around him, and injuries as well have taken down the Bears. But very clearly, the Bears seem to have their future, and that's really what all they really just needed to find this year.
real quick, do you
Bears
if you're
be
them, do
positioned
you
for the
bring
future.
David Montgomery back, or do you try to go for any of the huge names that are out there this offseason?
Hey, I mean, it all depends on the financials. Like, can they get Montgomery back at a good price? If they feel like they can't, then they might go after another running back. Or, I mean, Khalil Herbert has looked more explosive in their offense than he has.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, this I think this is the first time that Herbert had any injury issues this year. What was this year? Within the past weeks, so I think they can trust him to stay healthy if he has to carry the load. I mean, he's pretty explosive, so I feel like they could be confident in that. That definitely reduces Montgomery's leverage, I would say.
Yeah. But the NFC South, dude, everyone has a losing record.
This is the worst division in football,
We
and
were completely wrong on this entire division.
well,
I
I
think
mean,
everyone
at
was
one
completely
point,
wrong on
at
this
one point
entire
in the
division.
off season, we were looking at this division like it was just going to be complete chaos. But then Tom Brady unretired, and we were like, okay, well, Brady unretired. I'm sure things will be fine. The Saints added receivers. We thought they would be good. None of that has panned out very well right now. The Buccaneers just look absolutely terrible. Their offensive line's still brutal.
But
Um,
hey, it is still chaos. It's just kind of like the day after tomorrow or 2012 or San Andreas or any of the disaster films.
yeah, and then the Falcons have kind of faded a little bit. They're still better than expected, but still not good,
Well,
pretty
they had to face
much.
the Bengals. That was pretty evident early that they were going to lose that one. And then, but I don't know. Sam Darnold got things going for the Panthers, so guess looking up there.
Hey, I mean, you still hey, there's still a threat in this division. I mean, I I actually think the Panthers have a really good division record right now. Let's see, because they beat the Buccaneers the one time they played them. They beat the Saints the one time they played them, and so far they're 1-1 against the Falcons. Panthers have a 3-1 division record.
Hey, that's pretty impressive for the team that they're putting out on the field. But NFC West, looking from preseason to now, little surprising that the Rams are the ones with the Super Bowl hangover. Little surprising that the Cardinals couldn't do their beginning of the season hot streak. And a little surprising that the Seahawks are going for gold here.
Yeah, the Seahawks, I mean, they've kind of faded a little bit. People have found the weakness in the run defense lately.
Hey, they
Um,
still have impressed, and
they're still
they
a lot better than
they have a
expected.
top 5 pick next year because Denver sucks.
I know the future looks great in Seattle. There's no doubt about that. The reason why they've lost the control division is because the 49ers are starting to take off. They got a little bit healthier in offense. Christian McCaffrey, while they're keeping them on a pitch count, he has been a difference maker for them. The 49ers definitely look like one of the toughest teams in the NFC right now, while the Rams, surprisingly, are one of the worst teams in the NFC right now.
Yeah. Big difference from last year.
Yeah.
Um,
And I would say, I would consider the 49ers if I had to pick right now, I would say the 49ers might pick out of the NFC.
um, I'd say it's between the Vikings, 49ers, and Eagles. Um, Vikings not as much just because we know how Kirk Cousins is in big games, but
Yeah.
I would
There's playoff Kirk Cousins. Now
yeah.
he did finally perform in prime time, so we could stop at prime time Kirk Cousins for a bit, but there still is playoff Kirk Cousins that we have to worry about.
But I still think the Eagles have enough going for them that they can take on the 49ers. That would be one hell of a game.
Yeah. Yeah, and for sure, I think the Eagles and 49ers right now look like the top two favorites in the NFC for sure.
So moving on to the AFC.
In the AFC, we got to talk about the AFC East first. East divisions are completely loaded on both sides. The AFC East has been stacked this year thanks to the improvement of the Dolphins, the moves they made this offseason, and then the Jets' surprising improvement there. But yeah, the Dolphins definitely we got to chat about them first. I mean, just we can't get over like what a difference Tyreek Hill's made for the offense, Mike McDaniel's made for the offense. Jeff Wilson was a low key trade deadline acquire that has worked out really well for them. I mean, this
Well,
team's
the
just
reason,
looking very
Jeff
good.
Wilson came on the scene last year with Mike McDaniel and San Fran. That's why he did the trade. And then
Yeah.
I love Mike McDaniel as a coach. He's my second favorite coach behind Motor City Dan Campbell. Um, and slowly creeping into the number one spot. Just mainly because they get a little bit more media attention than Detroit does. But um, I I think they look dangerous. A lot of people underestimate on them. They're like, they're going to do okay. I even put them third. I said that they were going to improve. But they did a little bit more than just improve. They're pretty damn good. Um,
Yeah.
the one thing to watch is the relationship between Tua and Mike McDaniel, because that I've seen or heard audio of them talking on the sideline, and it's like, damn, they got something going. I guess
Yeah.
Tua actually had like a bit this offseason where he was like, am I even that good? And then McDaniel sent him a 700 play tape showing him why he's good.
Yeah. Well, don't forget why he did wondered if he was good. Because before the Dolphins even drafted him, they decided they didn't want him anymore. They drafted him, did not want him. They wanted Tom Brady instead. They want Deshaun Watson instead. The Dolphins
They
literally
even
have been
tried to
trying to get
trade after that draft. They actually tried to trade Tua and a bunch of picks for Burrow.
yeah, like they literally have been trying to get rid of Tua since they got him. Didn't even let the man take a snap. Then even when they had him in the first year, like they kept taking him out situations for Fitzmagic and all that. Like they they have given him the most tumultuous start to his career, and he has
Wow, that's a big word.
persevered through all of that. I read his encyclopedia before the show.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he persevered through all of that. Now has a coach that is completely behind him, and you're seeing the results on the field. This team is very good.
Yeah. Moving on to the rest of the division. Bills slowly moving back, but I honestly wouldn't be worried. Justin, off camera, you and I were talking, and you seem a little bit more worried than I do. But I honestly think it's just because of Josh Allen's elbow. I think once that gets to 100%, he's going to get a swagger back. He's going to start launching bombs, 550-yard games. Like he's gonna have it all. They got the
I'm a bit
receiving core even without OBJ. Like you have four solid targets, two running backs that can catch the ball. You got plenty of weapons. It's just, are you healthy enough to do it? If you're not, get off the field, take a couple L's with your backup, and then throw him back in when he's healthy.
I'm a bit more of the sky is falling kind of situation, mostly because it. I mean, it's being a Bills fan. It's been burned into me because when things can go wrong for the Bills, they do. Um, Definitely a bit concerned about Allen. The elbow is part of a concern, but even before the elbow injury, he wasn't sharp since the bye week. Similar to what happened last year, they got in a funk after the bye week. I don't know why that is because they entered the bye week in a great situation for the one seed and then completely fall apart mid-season. 0-2 in the division is a huge problem too. The game against the Patriots this week, which will probably be before this show airs, is a must win for the Bills. They have got to win that one. 0-3 in the division. They are toast at that point if they want any hope of the one seed because they got to get the one seed because we've known how the season has ended the past 2 years. It's ended in Arrowhead, and if they don't get the one seed, it looks like the path goes back through there again. I'm tired of the Bills playing in Arrowhead. anyone that's talked to me in the past
Yeah.
weeks knows I'm tired of it. Let's move on to the Jets. Mike
The
White
Cooper
Lightning.
Rush 2.0.
Hey, no, Mike White Lightning is his own guy. He has significantly improved the offense. Everyone seems to like him a lot more. It kind of makes you wonder how or why they kept weighing themselves down with Zach Wilson for the past few weeks.
I mean, is Mike White that good, or is there just such little tape on him that no one can stop him?
Or is he just that much better than Zach Wilson?
That's true. Um, can you imagine that this offense with Becton and Vera Tucker back? Like, it would actually be legit dangerous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it'd be very good.
and then the Patriots, there is an internet rumor saying that Tom Brady will return to the Patriots and they will trade Mac Jones after the season, but it's an internet rumor. It's not
Yeah, it's
gonna
the internet.
happen. If he does retire, he would sign a 10-day contract, retire as a Patriot, and then call it a day.
Yeah.
Um,
But
and then
Patriots, not great in
Mac,
the offense. Their defense is pretty tough, though.
yeah. Moving on to the AFC North. I've been looking forward to talking about this one. Bengals and Ravens neck and neck, just like everyone said all year. Well, I guess there's a lot of people in preseason that were like, the Bengals are going to miss the playoffs. Well, guess what? They're in prime position to go to the playoffs. But prior to the Titans game, they actually were almost eerily identical to their season last year at the exact same time. I think they have more points per game this year and then more yards per game this year. And that's the only difference. Every other statistical category, they are the same. And then played well against the Titans. So then it's just improving. Browns get Watson back this week.
Well,
He's going to
one
get
point I want to make
booed.
about the Bengals is, I mean, against the Titans in the playoffs last year, Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times. Against the Titans this year, got sacked once. That is a huge improvement for the offensive
And
line.
that once
They're
was him
rounding in the
hanging onto the
form.
ball. That
Yeah.
once was him hanging onto the ball, so he didn't just chuck it downfield for a pick. Like he's trying to he takes some of these sacks on his own, just so he doesn't turn the ball over. He'd rather do 3rd and 14 than have to be off the field and have the defense come on.
Yeah. But this Bengals team is getting hot at the right time. Watch out for them.
Yeah.
As you're about to mention, the Browns getting Deshaun Watson back. Can they be any sort of factor here late in the year?
Aside from all of the stuff that's been talked about for Deshaun Watson over the past couple of years, can he perform on the field after not seeing the field at all last year and so far not at all this year? He didn't look that great in camp, but at the end of the day, it is camp.
Yeah.
Then the Steelers are actually removing themselves from a top 10 pick where they can get a very good offensive lineman by continuing to beat inferior teams. The whole Jeff Saturday hire, whatever view you have of it, I like Jeff Saturday. I've always liked the Colts as long as Peyton Manning and Jeff Saturday were there. But poor clock management. He actually could have won that game. But Steelers are looking for a top 10 lineman, and they are currently playing themselves out of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to see some of the things like Kenny Pickett to George Pickens has been a connection that seems to be growing and growing with each coming week. And the defense has played significantly better since TJ Watt came back. So that team's looking pretty good. Now, we kind of skimmed over them, the Ravens. They've been unimpressive the past 2 weeks.
And today, we don't have a whole lot of information on it, but Lamar Jackson did leave practice early with a quad injury and got moved to limited. So we'll keep an eye on that, but I don't think it's going to be anything serious. Obviously, if he went to limited, it's not like something that they're concerned about.
Yeah.
But will it affect his running ability this weekend?
Yeah,
Because
because
if
it's already
the Bengals can beat the Chiefs and the Ravens, who do they have?
the Ravens play the hang on one moment here. The Ravens, they don't play anyone good. I know that. Oh yeah, they play Denver.
Oh, that's an automatic win. So no matter
Yeah.
who they put, they could sign Kyle Bowler out of retirement, put him in the starting lineup, and they will still beat Russell Wilson.
Denver
Mister
sinks.
Mister
Unlimited.
Unlimited.
But yeah, the one problem for the Ravens for sure is lack of receivers. Rashad Bateman was their top guy and he got hurt. I mean, even then they were already low on receivers.
Why do they
Deshaun
even
Jackson.
flex receivers out? Just put fatter men in there, and then just run the 1966 Green Bay Packers offense.
I think they're getting ready to run 2 tight end sets there with Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, but then Likely got hurt.
I know.
Um,
It would have been funnier if his name was Will Likely. It's about a half of a sentence.
Yeah.
And then AFC South, Titans are a good football team. But they have some glaring holes. Obviously, receivers one, but they keep finding Westbrook Kine, I think is how you say it.
Yeah. And
He seems to be tearing it up. Burks got his first touchdown on a fumble. And then so they're starting to get some receivers out there.
yeah, Treylon Burks has helped add a little pop to this offense. He was hurt during the middle of the year. He's come in lately and he seems to have helped them out a little bit.
They got to find something other than handing the ball to Hilliard or Henry, because it's just not going to be feasible to do that. Like, neither running back should have 30 carries, and they shouldn't be 20 and 20. It's like, stop running the ball. Like, figure out a way to get it to your receivers. And they did against the Bengals, but it just wasn't enough. Colts are bad, but somehow in second. Jaguars actually looked really good this past weekend. So let's see if Trevor Lawrence can.
The Jaguars kind of they seem to pop every once in a while, have a good game. They're still kind of figuring things out. It seems like obviously earlier in the year
they took ETN out last game and due to an injury scare, and then they were like, you know what, you're good. We're just going to keep you on the sideline so you don't get hurt anymore. And then but they're putting him back out there this next week. So I'm actually excited to see what they can do. I mean, it sucks it's against the Lions because I want the Lions to win a little bit more. But I also want to see Trevor Lawrence be good. And then the Texans, they're the Texans.
They're so bad.
I have literally nothing to say about that.
They were competitive early in the year. By the way, I did that. I had to look up who they beat. It was the Jaguars, by the way. That is their one win.
And they tied the Colts, not just because I was looking at the screen, but also because I remember that game.
But yeah, they were competitive for a little while. Now they've even gotten to the point where they're not competitive. That team is so bad.
Finally, AFC West.
Chiefs are very much in line for the number 1 seed. It's going to be tough to pry them away.
Number 1 spot.
I mean, like this game against the Bengals this weekend is going to be a big one. I feel like if the Chiefs win that one, they pretty much had the 1 seed wrapped up at that point. The Bengals are one of the few teams left that could beat them.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the Dolphins can. But yeah, it's going to be a while before we see that game. But we have we were completely wrong about this division. We were like, this is going to be the best division. The Chiefs are running away with it, and then the Raiders stink. Although they did have 2 straight walk-offs, one with Devontae Adams, one with Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
So they are moving in the right direction, the Raiders are, but the Broncos stink. And as per usual, the Chargers look good on paper, but just have not performed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, everyone keeps saying that Justin Herbert is better than Joe Burrow, but I have not seen it. Except for their rookie seasons. That's it. Like, you have a really good roster. You have good receivers. You have a good running back. You have a decent your defense, you just spent a ton of money on, and they all get hurt. So it's like the guys you brought in were on top of what you had last year. So you should be able to handle things. I think Brandon Staley might be on the hot seat here soon.
He's getting close, I would say. Obviously with the receiver situation, they did lose Mike Williams, Keenan Allen for a long period of time this year. That has not helped. But yeah, it just seems like a lot of times, it kind of does fall on Staley a little bit where he's just not making the right decisions at the right time. And he keep dropping random games. Like there's just so much potential, but they just can't seem to get over that hump.
Yeah, it's like I want to see them do well outside of the Burrow Herbert argument.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have to face the Bengals, I don't care what they do. If they win,
Yeah.
cool, you look good. If you don't win, then you're not as good as everyone thought you were.
Yeah.
But
Justin Herbert's a lot of fun. Like this is a fun team, and
yeah,
they just can't seem to pull off the wins when they need to.
new uniforms, a different team's owners paying for the stadium that you're in. It just like all the stars are aligning for them to do really well, but just for whatever reason they can't get past themselves.
Yeah.
But interesting season going forward. I mean, like the Bengals have the Chiefs, Browns, Patriots, Bills, and Ravens left.
Awesome memory.
Dude, it was tough there for a second. Oh no, they also have the Bucks. They have the Bucks in there.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they lose two of those, and then they have the same record or one game better than they were last year.
But yeah, definitely a lot still on the line here, as you can see. I mean, it's gonna be a competitive race to the finish here. Yeah, very excited to see how the season keeps going.
Yeah, there's only three contenders in the NFC, and we already talked about them. But if somehow the Bucks don't lose the division, then watch Tom Brady just go off.
Yeah,
Like I
it's
kind
always
of feel like they're messing with people now,
it's
but
always
part of me is like
possible.
they're missing Bruce Arians.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I think that might be it. Todd Bowles could be on the hot seat after 1 year,
yeah,
but we'll
um,
see that and more as we keep going.
yeah. Any final thoughts?
I think those were our final
Yeah.
thoughts there.
Anything
Definitely a
else you
great
want to
season.
talk about?
Excited to see what this week goes.
USA beat Iran yesterday. So good job. We made it to the round of 16. Um, so yeah, go USA men's national team.
All I saw was one of the games was 0-0, and I was like, "What the hell was that even about?" I feel
They
bad for
tied both
anyone.
games.
I feel bad for anyone that sat through that. Like there
They
was
tied
no
both games.
scoring, no winner. That is brutal.
Yeah, they tied
Too
Wales.
many
They
damn
tied
ties.
England.
I hate ties
How do
so
you
much.
tie with Wales? Like a tie, yeah, a tie sucks. But how do you tie Wales?
It's very tough. Whales are very big.
The country.
I know, I know.
I think
It
they
just
had
it sounded very funny.
there's a UK conspiracy going on here. Just kidding. Um, we are now
I
just
don't know.
not just
I assume all the European countries are good, by the way, because like I feel like they've grown in this or whatever. Like so, like when you mentioned that, like I thought Wales was good.
I can tell you that it's either Ireland or Northern Ireland. I can't remember. They're really bad.
They're on one of those islands.
Yeah. Um, that is all I got.
We've got to end the show at this point. We talked about
Yeah.
soccer.
Yeah.
No one is tuning in to watch us idiots talk about soccer.
All right, guys. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Those are the big ones. TikTok. What else are we on? That's it, right?
I think that's pretty
Um,
much all of them.
at Updog Sports Talk. On all of them. Give us a like, a subscribe. Feel free to comment. Click the little bell to get notifications when we post. We pretty much just post once a week. That's it. See
Do
ya.
what Matt just said, and we promise we'll never talk about soccer again.
Yeah. If you don't do it, if we don't get any likes or subscribes, we will talk about soccer for an entire
We're
episode.
gonna talk about the whole round of 16, I think you said.
Our two fans are going to be drunk in their underwear on the couch. and then they're just gonna fall asleep to us talking about soccer. Oh, two drunk fans in your underwear on the couch. Thanks for watching.
See ya.